I decided I want my hair down. So before I get to recording again, I did record a couple of takes of Spectre, Love Is Dead. Some of you may know from the previous session with this live streaming my recording process for this song. This is a cover of the song by Ross Williams during his Christian death years, I believe. It was an outtake from Ashes and sort of ended up as a bootleg sort of single. It's ended up on a couple of later official releases, both during and after his lifetime. For those of you unfamiliar with Ross Williams, this year, this day is the 20th anniversary of his death. I did learn about that at the time. I was 17 when it happened, and I found out later that summer because that was when I ended up getting the Carpe Noctem issue where there was the tribute letter to him by William Faith, who I kind of discovered. William Faith, have you ever watched Metalocalypse and, seen that bit where Squizgar is saying, oh yeah, I've been in every band, and William Faith is kind of like Goth Squizgar, especially since he's bleached his hair and dropped a whole lot of weight. He's already, like, absurdly tall. I think, like, 6'5". So yeah, this is part of my recording process. Is I've got some notes here. Actually, I realized during the first recording of this for the vocals that I should probably rehearse a little bit more, so you'll hear some of that. Actually, I'm gonna go get some water, so feel free to watch my wall for a couple minutes, because I don't feel like stopping this stream and then restarting it. So the previous session I did on this live stream of my recording, I kept recording after the stream finally cut out at about like 45 minutes or something. So I kept recording, and I ended up with a cut that I didn't completely hate. I'd call this demo quality. So uh, uh, I'd actually had a whole EP of Ross Williams covers planned to be released today, but combination of all sorts of stressors, including convergent stressors, because I'm going to be vending, and it occurred to me earlier this week, or I guess last week now, since you know how so Sunday's part of the is so Sunday is a weekend, and it's not part of the weekend as being the end of the week as people say. It's like weekend, like bookends. You put a bookend on one end of the shelf and then another end of the shelf, bookends, weekends. So um that's your vocabulary lesson for today. So yeah, I realized this last I've basically been losing money on my shop with the buttons all this year so far. I last had a sale of buttons, which I think was, you know, all of two buttons. I think it was two sales of single buttons. So that was $3, and my shop fee with Artfire, while it is a flat rate based on the size of your shop, that's $20. So do the maths. I have, in fact, I just barely broke even on December. For some reason, everybody was buying in October of last year, which is fine. Which is fine. I don't mind that at all. But I've basically been losing money on my shop all this year. I've not had a single sale since January. Uh, I am really hoping that Convergence will more than make up for that. But the last time I I vended at an event, which was a pop up shop in Depot Town, Ypsilanti. Uh, I ah, tape is falling. So the last time I vended at an event, I I think I came away with maybe $40. Granted, this was just a little pop up shop. Most of the people, were just people walking about their day and all that. You know, maybe 20% of the people who came to see all the vendors at this, pop up shop event were people who, like maybe one in five of them were coming out for the pop up shop. So, whereas everybody coming out for Convergence is coming out at least in part to see the vendors as well as the bands. And I was one of the first vendors to sign up, therefore I was one of the first vendors to get a vendor spotlight on the Facebook page for Detroit Convergence. So hopefully people are fairly excited. My friend Kim, she made like 10, 12 images, like each with 9 of my buttons and a couple of the pictures of my necklaces that I do. And so hopefully, and plus, like, I haven't sold a goddamn necklace on Artfire for about a year, and that was a custom piece commissioned by a friend of mine. In fact, like, the only necklaces I've sold over Artfire have been custom pieces commissioned by friends. The ones that I've made just because, I had an idea and I had to put it out, the ones I've made, I get compliments on them when I wear them out to, the clubs and everything. Nobody wants to buy one, even though, like, I usually come out with my, I usually come out with my square reader when I wear one out to the clubs, because it's good advertising. And like shit, the first time I did that and brought out the square as well with it, it was Valentine's Day. It was my red one with the little skulls, and and it was on a Valentine's Day. And I thought, oh hey, red Valentine's Day colors. Yeah, it's check glass, but it's kind of a garnet shade of red. Um, and the beautiful little, howlite skull beads. I thought, for sure, got a lot of compliments. Not a single person who was seriously, considering buying it, who even wanted to take an email about it. You know, a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. You made this yourself. I'm like, yeah, damn right. So I know jewelry usually moves at Convergence more than it does online. At least that's to my understanding of uh, the last time I was at a Convergence, and I know people who go, like almost every year, or at least every year that they can, and I think I know of one person who's been to every one, and I'm not even certain that she has. But, there are people who are go, like, every possible year that they can, and, I'm under the impression, jewelry moves a little bit better there than it, than it would, you know, um, if it's just something you're starting, if it's, I mean, granted, I don't want, I'd probably not want to bring anything too high ticket, but, you know, my larger pieces, those are about $80. But I've seen people buy, like, like a $200 ready-made corset at Convergence. So I'm thinking, an $80, you know, glass Nabalone, necklace. That shouldn't be too bad. But whatever. So I've been really stressed out about money. It's gotten some tensions with the young man I've been cohabitating with. Um, and he's taking this a bit more personally than it's intended, at least personally, as something personal about him. But I told him this morning as he was getting ready for work that no, it's most of what's been stressing me out is not about him. It's all about the fact that I've been losing money on my shop. And shut the fuck up, phone. Can I turn that off while I'm recording? Maybe. Yes, let us try that. Will this still stream me? I hope so. So, I've told, hopefully that helps things, but, yeah, you saw me with a Polaroid, and I was going to talk about that. So this is the first time I've done some of this with the Polaroids. Now, the Polaroids, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I didn't make a video about it, but I finally got a reusable flash for my Polaroid. So I've had my Polaroid One Step for forever, and I really should get to recording, shouldn't I? But this is what happens when you're stressed. When you're stressed the fuck out, you're ADHD and plus anxiety, and so my Polaroid, I love my Polaroid. So I've had the camera part itself for years. I've had this. Oh God, I want to say I first got the camera in 6th or 7th grade. So I've had this for how old am I now? Okay, so I'm 38 this July, and I've had this since, let's say, 7th grade, so I would have been 12, so 26 years. I've had this 26 years. I've had this for over a quarter of a century, and I do believe it's a little bit older than that. I think this is one of their just looking at the striping here, and this was very popular, late 70s, very early 80s. So this camera is at least as old as I am. And I was doing only outside when I had it for the longest time. Occasionally I would get a disposable flash bar, which has like 10 flash bulbs on it, which are one-time use. Occasionally I would get a disposable flash bar for indoors and just use that sparingly. And then for a briefer time than most people believe, you couldn't find film for it because the company closed down, but maybe a year or two later, a couple employees basically were able to backwards engineer the film because when the company closed, they took their patent with them. So when the company stopped making film, they took their patent with them, and so the patent finally expired. So now the former employees who made Impossible Project film a few years after Polaroid itself closed and stopped making the film, so the patent rights have expired, and so they're just basically like, okay, or maybe it was the trademark that expired. So basically they're saying they've repurposed it, they've renamed the company Polaroid Originals because they were originally for the company, working with the company. But the flash bar, they're making new cameras, they're making new Polaroid Originals cameras, but that have a flash bar for the XS70, which is this type of film, or what's the other one? I forget the other model, but that already have the flash in. But there's another company, I think it's another company, that makes a flash bar for the XS70 type cameras, and those are about $90, and those are really nice flashes. They have these little gels you can use, on the light to adjust for color correction, and they're really sweet flash bars, but and they're reusable, but again, $90. I found this on eBay for $35 after with free shipping, and the reason I got this one for $35 on eBay with free shipping is because I had previously been bidding on one that started at about 15. I stopped making serious bids when it hit 23, and I noticed, oh my shit, this person just like put in far more than it's worth for a vintage flash. And he just put in a price that was far more than it's worth, especially with the other listing existing, you know. And so when I stopped spite bidding, that listing was up to $40, which was $5 more than I paid for this. So at some point, I was just like, I'm just gonna spite bid you, you know, so I can get this one for, you know, cheaper and feel better about myself. And if it ends up, and you know, I bid, you know, with plenty of time that, you know, he could go bid right back, you know, since it was clear that's what they were doing. But but um but so yeah, like one of the things that so unfortunately the film for this is kind of expensive, so I've been using this kind of like, I've kind of just been re-experimenting with this since I started getting film. mm, I've got a box of Polaroids started. Back, I want to say late September, I started taking Polaroids, you know, regularly enough to, you know, just, it's clear that this is like my own personal project. So today I took a picture. Now, if again, I come back around to Ross Williams, because his last his last complete album that he released during his lifetime was a premature ejaculation album, Wound of Exit, which, you know, you think about the title, I mean, there's a lot of things that add up to Ross Williams leaving people a suicide note. That, um, especially, like, I'm not the only person I know who has interpreted Pig as a visual suicide note. That would be his short film. Um, like, you know, that and Wound of Exit, and it's so hard for me to listen to the Shadow Project from the Heart album lately. Um, I do love the first two Shadow Project albums, but there's a lot about From the Heart that's very hard for me to listen to, and there's one song that, if you think about it, this was his last vocal album, but yeah, like Wound of Exit and Pig, as far as I'm concerned, those were suicide notes, but you know, that he left for fans. That, and you know, if you know about the story with the tarot cards and watching Isadora, uh, um, you know, that just kind of brought it all full circle. Um, but so Wound of Exit. One of the things about in fact, I used the Wound of Exit album art as the you know, for this tattoo. I gave Jeff Zuck, who was my tattooist at the time, I gave him that for reference, and I'm like, I want this to look exactly like this one, and I want the placement to be as close to this on my own arm as possible. And he did a brilliant job with that. Granted, um, oh wait, no, that was Jeff's apprentice doing that, because a lot of this didn't heal quite right. But but Jeff did my first three, which, you know, he did perfect work. So one of the things that really stands out for Wound of Exit's um, album art is it's all Polaroids. Um, you know, he's wearing that, you know, hideous rubber mask, um, and Cece, she took the Polaroids, and with him, like, she and him, you know, both were mangling the pictures as they were developing. So I took a photograph of the home studio portion of my bedroom area, and I crunched it up a little bit, and we've got, can we focus? Yeah, April 1st of April 1334. Uh, and I'm probably going to do you know, a couple more pictures of the like that. Maybe hand the camera over to my young man I'm cohabitating with to, you know, maybe take some pictures of me as I'm recording, you know, or whatnot. But so yeah, this was I tried that. Well, I tried it. And that, like, I folded a corner, and then I was like, no, no, I can't ruin this. Um, but yeah, I really like how that turned out, and I think that was a fitting tribute today with this, and I will put that in the album art. Um, for when I release this. I am going to be releasing this on Bandcamp, and I'm going to. I've bought albums like this on Bandcamp where they only put up like like the first one or two like singles, but if you buy the whole album, you get the rest of the songs as they come out. So I know it works like that. So that's how I'm going to do this EP. And like I said, if it wasn't for Convergence nonsense stressing me out, and I'm not saying Convergence is nonsense. There's still a couple people on the Weber tubes who decide that they are fully within their rights to be very, very mean to me about an incident when I was a 21-year-old little jackass. Um, and I'm sorry, we were all little jackasses at that age, and if you think you weren't, you probably still are. Like, I genuinely, with all of my soul, believe that if you think you weren't a little jackass when you were that age, you probably still are. You almost certainly still are. There are like two people in the world who genuinely never were. Two people in the world alive today. But but yeah, if you think you weren't at that age, you probably still are. So yeah, there's still a couple people, and these people who have always been older than me. Because if you were older than me then, you're still older than me now. Who still think they have every right to be mean to me about this. But no, I'm not saying Convergence is nonsense. I'm saying, like, everything I have to deal with. Like, this is everything I have to deal with before any event. Any event that I've never had any kind of history with. It's all stuff I have to deal with. I think every vendor puts it this way, like, you do all this, and if you're lucky, you get, you get enough payoff to put all the stress building up to it worth it. And granted, there are other things at the convention I'm going to do besides vending, and this is going to make, that alone is going to make it all balance out for me, but at the same time, it's like, I have to put in all of this. I have no guarantee that I'm going to make back even half of the money that I put into this. I don't even officially have a room. My plan for the room is my young man and we are going to just like, I have to pack heavy because I'm bringing all of my vending shit, and and plus, like, I am not a light packer even when I'm not venting. I could be going somewhere just overnight, and I have to bring this large suitcase, and I have to bring this large suitcase, and the shampoo and the conditioner and the facial wash and the antiperspirant and the body powder. And when I do it for weekenders like this, I know to get the travel sizes, and I hate all the plastic involved in travel sizes, but for some stuff I get the reusable bottles, so to reduce plastics, but still. So I get all the travel size, I break it down to travel sizes, so that I can pack lighter, but still it's like, I've got makeup I definitely want to bring, makeup I definitely don't want to bring, makeup I might want to bring, but I'm going to wait until the night before to decide whether or not I'm going to pack it, and I'm still going to end up packing more of it than I need. I want to wear this, and this on these days in the afternoon, this, and this these days at night, this, that, and the other thing. Isaac, he's probably barely going to change between his afternoon and his evening outfits, because that's just how he is. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it as a goth. I don't get it as a gay. I don't get him on certain levels, which includes like how he can just wear the same outfit from afternoon to evening, even when he's doing two different things, and yet half the time he does. The other half the time, it's because he wants to change out of work clothes, or he'll just throw a jacket over what he was wearing on in the afternoon. Like, he's got this Muppet fur jacket, which I kind of wrote his ass about a little bit because it's plastic. It's just fancy ass plastic. But then what was I saying? So, like I don't like it is physically impossible for me to pack lightly. It is. So I'm gonna be a big pain in the ass. I know I am. I know I'm gonna be the biggest pain in the ass about this. But still, this is what I gotta do. I'm gonna try to keep it to my grandmother's suitcases, as far as my packing goes. Um, Maybe a train case full of makeup. And no, I don't know. I've got the smaller case that I can parse down makeup into. But oh well. So because I've got all the button shit and the jewelry shit, the jewelry that I'm selling and the jewelry that I'll be wearing. I'm doomed. But yeah, so I've got all of this that I've been dealing with. I've been stressing the fuck out, and yet at the same time, I've been planning this EP for since October. But then again, I know I work really well under pressure most of the time. Even if it's a self-imposed deadline, I put out some really decent stuff under pressure. And two, in October, I wasn't officially doing Convergence. I was voting, because Detroit had, the only chance it ever had. There's that character who decided that, no, I'm making a serious bid to have Convergence in my backyard. I'm like, you literally know that nobody's going to take that seriously. You can say it's serious, but no, this is just you being a little jackass. And I've told people about this, and they're like, oh yeah, like, nobody would take that seriously. And there's like 2 people I've talked to online since who, was like, oh no, he could have done it. I'm like, nobody would have done that. Like, it would have been you, his roommate, and him, at that thing, if it actually won somehow, which obviously it didn't, but I was gonna start recording, wasn't I? Yes, I was. I think I was. So, god damn it, computer. Oh, excuse me. I don't know if you heard that, but oh god. Do I even want to record while I'm live streaming right now? Oh, that's right. I need to rehearse. I figured that out when I was recording and the first couple takes, and I was like, no, I need to rehearse this a little bit. I'm gonna be very self-conscious. Please, I'm gonna so from this point, just if you come on and watch live, just try not to chat at me. I've got it muted on my end so that I don't hear it, but you are more than welcome to say words of encouragement. Just don't ask me questions. Just whatever you do, don't ask me questions that you expect an answer to. I might answer them later, but not while I'm singing. I'm gonna do the finger in the ear thing. I know people make fun of that during the old American Idol auditions reels. And the reason that a lot of, especially choral singers, will do that is it's not, it's not perfect, but it's a little cheater kind of way to see if you're getting the right notes, because it's approximate, like what you hear in your head when you and it's not like in the ear. You got to press down on the little bit of cartilage there. And so what you hear reverberating in your head when you're doing that is approximately how you sound to other people. It's a little bit off. It's a little bit off. I'm sure some people do stick their finger in their ear, but no, you want to do it by pressing in on the bone. I do that sometimes when I'm not sure if I've got the right, area of the notes I want. I've also got the chromatic. Are we on? We are on. We're supposed to be on. No, we're on. Penis. Oh, I'm flat. Okay, I do have the tuner. Little sharp there, but Uh, so I do have this, but I don't like it as much for voice. I do it when I'm tuning my viola. I do it when I'm trying to, because I didn't grow up playing piano like some people. I grew up singing and playing viola. So I grew up singing and playing viola. So I use it when I'm tuning my viola. I use it when I'm tuning my auto harp. I use it when I'm tuning my guitar. I use it when I'm trying to find the right um, note key and like remember which way they go on my harmonium, and sometimes like when I've checked out a keyboard. So yes, I'm going to be singing along with the song. It's probably going to get like a copyright tag on it because of stuff, but this is a really bad recording. Sorry, I just noticed how much interference is on this reasonably official recording of this. Actually, it might be a demo cut. Expecting turners and bullet pains, the bed is tangled in the floor. Last night was all a mistake, love. You're gonna wanna stay. You can't always want always. You go slower, go slower. Found your soul smashed on these stones. Right or wrong, the man stands back in the corner. It's on a mistake. You know you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry. It's on a mistake. Put our loved ones in the ocean. We spent our loving on the cold steps. But one of these days, I'll be strong. Oh, don't say no. You're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, boy. It's stolen, it's stolen. It's stolen, it's stolen. It's all a mistake, I'm the roses. So, behind the stolen piece of love, the child bring holding between us. You fall in love, but still it must be me. You fall in love, but still it must be me. You fall in love and not a stone to throw. It's all a mistake. You fall in love when it's dead and not a stone to throw. Better not stay, not stay. You better not stay, not stay. Oh, no. Hey, you better not stay, not stay. Here now. Oh, here now, stay. I'm Also making notes here for when to come in on because of the keyboard piece. It's one of these songs where I know the words by heart. It's just when you're recording, you have to know it in a different way. Turn as the bullet bangs, the tank is tangled up the heart. It's always all a mistake, love. You gotta wanna stay. You can't always want always. You go slow and go slower. And your soul is smashed on these steps, right or wrong. The man stands back in corners. You know you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, you're so. Put our loved ones in the oceans. We spent our loving on the coasters. But one of these days, can our love be strong? Don't say no. You're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, your soul is all mine. You found it stolen, it's stolen. You found it stolen, it's stolen. It's not a mistake falling onto roses. Oh, how can the stolen be stolen? A child bring hold in between us. You understood it must be me. You understood it must be me. Nothing not a stone to throw. Fall in love when it's dead and not a stone to throw. You better not stay, not stay. You better not stay, not stay. Hold me now. Oh, only love's dead. Oh, only love's dead. All of it's stolen. Stay, not stay. You better not stay, not stay. Only now. Oh, only love's dead. Stolen. Expecting turn as the bullet bangs. The bed is tangled in the floor. Your mind was all a mistake, love. You've gotta wanna stay, I wanna stay. You can't always want always. You go slow, go slower. I found your soul smashed on these stairs, right or wrong. The man stands back in the corner. You know you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry. Put our loved ones in the ocean. We spent our loving on the cold stones. But one of these days, can our love be strong? Oh, don't say no. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, old boy. You found it stolen, it's stolen. You found it stolen, it's stolen. Falling onto roses. Oh, how can the stolen be stolen? And driving holding between us. You gotta love it, still it must be me. You gotta love it, still it must be me. You gotta love it, not a stone to throw. Love it, not a stone to throw. You better not stay, not stay. You better not stay, not stay. Oh, only love. Oh, only love stay. Oh, only love stay. Not stay, not stay. You better not stay, not stay. Only love. Oh, only love stay. Only love stay. Alright, this is my recording now. Expecting turn as the bullet pains, the bed is tangled on the floor. Last night was all a mistake, love. You gotta wanna stay, I wanna stay. You can't always want always. You go slow and go slower. I found your soul smashed on these steps, right or wrong. Lemon stands backed in corner. You know you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, you're so. Put our loved ones in the ocean. We spent our loving on the cold stones. But one of these days, can our love be strong? Oh, don't say no. You're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, you're so, old boy. You found it stolen, it's stolen. You found it stolen, it's stolen. God damn it. Alright, I am really glad I was not actually recording there. I'm still taking notes, because, you know, even though I was listening to the, to the song, to the original recording I'm working from, when I was recording my keyboard part, you know, just so that like I knew what I should be doing. Obviously, it's not going to be a perfect copy. So, I'm still taking notes so that my voice track matches up with my keyboard track, and it's very frustrating, which is why you rehearse so much. Okay, and we go back and we start again. Expecting turn has the bullet pains, the bed is staying on the floor. Last night was all a mistake, love. You gotta wanna stay. You can't always want always. You go slow and go slower. I found your soul smashed on these steps, right or wrong. The man stands backed in corners. You know you're sorry, 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 you're so. Put our loved ones in the ocean. We've spent our loving on the cold stones. But one of these days, can our love be strong? Oh, don't say no. You're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, you're so boy. You found it stolen, it's stolen. You found it stolen, it's stolen. You're falling onto roses. Oh, how can a stolen be so love? It shall bring hold in between us. You fall in love, but still it must be me. You fall in love, but still it must be me. You fall in love and not a stone to throw. You fall in love when it's dead and not a stone to throw. So, you'd better not stay, not stay. You'd better not stay, not stay. Fall on me now. Oh, only love is dead. Oh, only love is dead. Our love has been stolen. You'd better not stay, not stay. You'd better not stay, not stay. Oh, fall on me now. Oh, only love is dead. Oh, only love is dead. Our love has been stolen. Okay, I kind of like that. I'm going to start doing the no, I'm going to do one more run with this, and then I'm going to start doing the takes of the recordings. And I'm not. Hold on, I'll be right back. Ooh. Okay, so one more go through with my recorded music. And so far, I think this is the longest live stream I've ever done because I've not gotten indications that the connection is crapping out on me, and I actually. Ooh, I actually might have to cut this off after this take because I'm running low on charge. I mean, I didn't have a full charge when I started, but seems to be depleting the charge a bit faster than I thought it would. So you're not gonna watch me record, but you're gonna watch me rehearse, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yes, you are, little nuggets. That's what I call my cats. Not the metronome. Expecting turn as the bullet pains, I better stay on the floor. Last night was all a mistake, love. You gotta wanna stay. You can't always want always. You go slow and go slower. I found your soul smashed on these steps. I don't like that. Expecting time as the bullet pains, the best thing on the floor. Last night was all a mistake, love. You're gonna wanna stay. You can't always want always. You go slow and go slower. I found your soul smashed on these steps. Right or wrong, the man stands backed in corner. You know you're sorry, 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 you're so. Put our loved ones in the ocean. We spent our loving on the cold steps. But one of these days, can our love be strong? Oh, don't say no. You're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, you're sorry, your soul is all by. You found it stolen, it's stolen. You found it stolen, it's stolen. Falling onto roses, oh. How can the stolen be so love? A child bring hold in between us. You fall in love, but still it must be me. You fall in love, but still it must be me. You fall in love and not a stone to throw. You fall in love when it's dead and not a stone to throw. This is the part where, when I'm performing live, I get to do all swirly, interpretive dance. You'd better not stay, not stay. You'd better not stay, not stay. Fall on me now. Oh, only love is dead. Oh, only love is dead. Our love has been stolen. You'd better not stay, not stay. You'd better not stay, not stay. Fall on me now. Oh, only love is dead. Oh, only love is dead. Our love has been stolen. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream now and actually like record some of this, and let the metronome go. I like it. I actually find it kind of comforting. I know some people would just be like, tap, 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 it's driving me nuts. But I'm like, no, I like it. I like it. It gives me something to listen to and kind of focus my attention on so that I'm not completely going nuts with my own thoughts. Alright, sweethearts. I love you all, and bats and kisses, and do this. This should end the stream, right? Yes, I want to stop streaming.